In the early 2010s, Street League skateboarding forked over hundreds of thousands of dollars to its contest winners, changing the lives of now iconic skateboarding figures like Nyjah Huston and Sean Malto. A decade and a half later, SLS awards $10,000 to the Trick of the Year winner, and the fine print says the judging panel will decide the winners at their sole discretion. Just like Thrasher's Sodi, Trick of the Year appears to not be based on popular opinion, but instead a small circle of judges. However, the first Trick of the Year winner was Kelly Hart in 2015, rolling away from a Fakey Trey Fakey Manny at the West LA courthouse. Kelly was an SLS judge at the time and still is today, but according to SLS's own Facebook comment on their 2015 announcement, the judges did not decide who won that year, and instead the decision came down to public votes along with input from legends with a capital L, pros with a capital P, and even AMs with a capital A. As usual with skateboarding awards, transparency back then was pretty low regarding who actually made the subjective decision about what constitutes the single best trick of the year. Kyle Walker won in 2016, navigating one of the longest front grind multi-kinkers at the time in Glendale, and would also enjoy winning Thrasher's Sodi that same year. Tiago Lemos won with an unrelatably high switchback tail at Machba in 2017. In 2018, Milton Martinez won Trick of the Year with a larger-than-life-sized gap to front lip. Milton won again in 2019 with a kickflip into the Sunset Car Wash bank, and joined Walker as the second skater to win Trick of the Year and Skater of the Year in the same year. Brandon Turner's switch hard flip at Wallenberg won in 2020. 2021 found Jack O'Grady winning Trick of the Year with a back grind to back grind handrail transfer somewhere in the Outback. Ninja Lifestyle's favorite skateboarder Tristan Funkhauser snagged the 2022 award with a Thrasher cover-worthy high-speed frontside ollie at the China Banks in San Francisco. The 2023 winner was Yuto Horigome's nollie back 3 heel lip somewhere in Japan. And joining Milton as the first multi-Trick of the Year winner in 2024 was Tiago Lemos with a switchback nose blunt on a high ledge in San Francisco. Maybe it's because I was paying closer attention this year than others, or it truly was a closer call this year, but the 2024 Trick of the Year winner seemed to be more political than previous years. 10 finalists were considered for the 2024 Trick of the Year, and the fine print on the SLS website said that the criteria used by the judges to determine a winner were 50% degree of difficulty and/or originality of trick. Why it's and/or is a little confusing. 25% performance and style, and the remaining 25% spot and/or obstacle. This is my best attempt at viewing the finalists through the lens of the judging criteria. Dylan's fakey flip at Wallenberg not winning kind of made sense considering Brandon Turner already cleaned up at that spot with a switch hard, not to mention Jabe's fellow Gen Z partner in crime, Toby Ryan, saturated the spot a little with a nollie backside flip in the same year. Antonio DeReo's chaotically stylish nollie Trey Huck seemed like a top 3 finalist, but it might have been the spot and trick being just slightly less than iconic that held him back from winning. Tyshawn's now done 3 tricks in the New York subway. We get it. You already won your second Sodi skating that spot. There would be riots if Jones won Trick of the Year from a tray flip in the subway because of such a lack of originality. Dan Vanderlinden did the most technically impressive trick of the 10 finalists with the backside 180 fakie 5-0 fakie front heel gap out in Europe, but the clip is so short and the filming is so shaky, it's hard to ignore those details while watching. Jamie Foy's fakie flip switch feeble kind of gets lost in the bombardment of rail chomping clips he dropped over the last couple years, somehow diluting the impact he had on Trick of the Year consideration. Elijah Burrell's beastly combo of jumping from a front grind on a rail to another before hill-bombing a dizzyingly steep San Francisco street seemed like the most testosterone-fueled entry. Except for when you remember that 6'4", 232-pound Cordano Russell had an even more impressive clip with a half-cab blunt to back lip on a 10+ something rail, with the only factor preventing Russell from seriously being considered the winner is the lack of sliding he was able to muster after transferring into the back lip before the dismount, and not having a shirt on might have played a role as well. Deshaun Jordan's board slide up the rail was a regurgitation of one of his SLS stop best trick options, so originality took a big hit when considering his entry for trick of the year. Had he front boarded or even done anything besides a backboard or 50-50, we'd be having a different conversation. This leaves the two remaining finalists, Felipe and Tiago. Tiago did a switchback nose blunt on a waist-high ledge in San Francisco, and damn, was it well done all around. Not only did Lemos perfectly execute, but unless I'm missing something, this is the only clip out of all the finalists that was filmed rolling with the skater. In every other clip, the filmer was standing stationary, and I must say the visual aesthetic is greatly enhanced with Dan Stoling following Tiago compared to if it was filmed on a tripod. Such a long and high switchback nose blunt done so smoothly is indubitably impressive on all counts, and per the judging criteria, all the boxes are checked, for the most part. Nothing negative to say about performance and style. The spot and obstacle are also truly respectable and street-worthy. Degree of difficulty is high enough, and the only pushback I have is on originality. Tiago won Trick of the Year in 2017 on a switch backside high ledge trick. And in 2024, he wins another one on a switch backside high ledge trick. Not the most original trick selection. Yes, I understand a switchback tail and switchback nose blunt are two different tricks, and admittedly, I don't even know which one's harder, but I imagine the switchback nose blunt is more difficult. And even though they're two ledge tricks, the clips were in two drastically different locations. But is a switchback nose blunt on a high flat ledge an overall better trick than a kickflip front blunt down a 16-stair handrail at an iconic spot? Felipe Mota has been underscored by SLS judges over the years on more than one occasion.
Even if you ever learned this trick, the level of consistency you'd make getting that first go.
God!
That was incredible. That was straight. That was one of my favorite tricks I've seen in Street League in a very long time. That is next level street skating right there.
7.8.
What? The judges, what's wrong with you guys, man? That was a straight up 9.
14-year-old Felipe Mota's kickflip backside tail slide shove down the gap to ledge, scoring an embarrassing 8 points, was a great way to welcome a young newcomer to the big stage.
And him losing to Tiago this year after submitting a clip at a high-profile spot that has yet to earn a Trick of the Year win raises the question of why did the judges decide to give Lemos yet another Trick of the Year award on another switch backside slide ledge trick, and what will it take for Hollywood High to be the spot that wins Trick of the Year? At least Milton did two completely unrelated tricks when he won twice. In a small industry that is notoriously struggling to make money, it's hard not to think about how much Felipe, still an amateur mind you, would have benefited from winning the award, compared to Tiago, who has already had a lot of shine in his career so far, but especially this year with the New Balance intervals video coming out. I understand the award is not based on who will get a better leg up in their career if they win, but it's also really hard to ignore the switch backside ledge factor getting 2 wins from the same skater. It's also not lost on me that several Hollywood High 16 rail tricks went down just this year, including Angelo Caro's bigger flip front board and Lucas Alves's atrociously filmed tray front lip, but I'm willing to bet a fat $5 bill that Felipe's kicky front blunt is the least contest-like trick at the spot and the best looking of the 3. If multiple NBDs go down at the same spot, does that affect originality? Tyshawn did a regular back nose blunt at the same spot Tiago switch backside nose blunted. But does Lemos get a pass on originality because Jones did it in 2022 and that's a different year? Or does originality 100% only pertain to the trick? Interesting detail to share is that the Trick of the Year isn't even Tiago's ender from intervals, the latter of which he flipped out of a switchback nose blunt, but almost heel touched, which probably would have caused even more controversy if that trick ended up being Lemos' submission for the award. Level of danger is not mentioned as one of the judging criteria in SLS's fine print for Trick of the Year, which I can't help but feel led to believe that even though Felipe's trick is 100% a riskier move due to the height and gravitational forces at play compared to Tiago's flat ledge, technically the gnarliness doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, Tiago did a wonderfully performed skateboard maneuver in the streets, and the more I watch each of the clips from the finalists, the more I think that the filming was the X factor this year that gave Tiago the win. And also, while we're dissecting Tiago's clip, I'm tempted to blow the whistle on some audio editing magic that might be at play. It almost sounds like the editors layered some additional skateboard sounds to the clip, particularly to the slide portion. It's very subtle, but something about the sound of the skateboarding in the clip seems artificial, and I'm not even trying to condemn or downplay the authenticity of the clip. It's just a detail that I don't hear a lot of discussion about and would be interested to know if any significant modifications were made to the audio. Another factor to consider is the stuff you don't see or feel on camera, like the vibes. Tiago looks like he's much more relaxed and kind of enjoying the moment while battling to get the switchback nose blunt, while Felipe appears to have a lot of pressure riding on this clip at Hollywood High. A stressful situation can be uncomfortable, and maybe the judges could sense the tension more palpably in Felipe's do-or-die kickflip front blunt footage, while Tiago's relatively more relaxed demeanor on camera is easier to enjoy and praise than someone who's shitting themselves before trying a trick. But either way, even though I personally think Felipe's win would have made more sense this year, Tiago's baby bottle emoji clapbacks in the comments were fun to read.